Thank you. My name is Johnson Dehinbo from the Tshwane University of Technology in Soshanguve in South Africa. So I'll be presenting this paper for the OIDA conference in Pretoria. And the topic for the presentation is enhancing suitability with an automated financial literacy expert advisor for Forex trading. The first author is Kabelo Moroke, who was our BTech student, graduated BTech and starting his master's now in the Department of Computer Science in the Tshwane University of Technology, Pretoria. I'll be following this outline, starting with the introduction, the background and motivation, the research questions, objectives, the problem statements, the literature review, moving into methodology and system development, and then the results of the system that was developed, and then concluding, and then we have the references list also at the end. As a way of introduction, first we'll start by defining what is called expert advisors in the realms of financial trading. These expert advisors are automated tools that can assist traders in trading towards enhancing their literacy so that towards the end of the day, we can have a sustainable development in the society. So these tools seek to provide users, especially young people, with financial independence through smart investing tactics. And the ultimate goal is to generate passive income that is consistent with the sustainable financial practices. And how do we do this? Is by automating all the various major decisions that are involved in Forex trading. And the essence is that, for example, while one is busy with other jobs and tasks, trading can go on more effectively, overcoming human limitations. Because we have seen many situations where a trader is busy trading and then doing some other things. And this trading is international. By the time you miss 10 minutes or 15 minutes, something could have happened in US or somewhere else that will trigger the trade to go in any direction, either positive or negative. And within that 15 minutes, the trader can lose millions of rands or millions of dollars. So it is very important that it is monitored closely. And IT, information system development, is one area that can assist in monitoring that kind of a thing, especially towards overcoming any form of human limitation that is involved. And as we said, the ultimate goal is to achieve development in the society, especially if we look at the definition of sustainable development as a development that meets the current needs of the present. So in this context, we look at financial literacy as a way that can be used to enhance such sustainable development. And the eye-opener to this came during the COVID-19 epidemic, which highlighted the vulnerability of various single-income households. During the lockdown, when all the houses were locked and people are not able to go out, people who are just relying on one income, especially those who are not on permanent employment, suffered because they could not go out and do their jobs. And but other people who are able to do some other things while at home are able to, survive and effectively progress. So this brought the realization that it should be advantageous if people can find something else they can do, in these kind of situations, such as in the lockdown situations, so that they don't subject themselves to that kind of pressure. So since many people lost that kind of money during that kind of a time, it really shows us that there is need for multiple income streams. So this system, therefore, is not only aimed at people that are specializing in Forex trading, but people that are even busy having other jobs. So this can be a second income stream for them. And most especially, it's good that it is a form of a passive income, meaning they don't have to go to it's not that they are going to a particular work every day. So this is something they can do at home. However, though it may be very rewarding, forex trading involves a lot of risk. And this risk needs to be mitigated through strategy, discipline, and understanding. I previously mentioned that within few minutes, a lot of things can happen. So such trader must be there, monitoring it, and making sure that he understands whatever he's doing at any point in time. And as we know, there are human limitations, may not perform and may not actually allow that, you are obviously going to get tired at some point, or sometimes we need to quickly go somewhere else and to avoid that kind of a thing. So we need assistance in the form of systems, in the form of information systems, and especially expert advice that can be automated in the trading process. And this is where the study comes in to the advantage of the society. So we can therefore define the problem statement to say that as at present, there exists financial literacy deficits because many people lack the expertise to efficiently manage their finances, especially as was made clear during economic downturns or during crises such as the COVID crisis. However, also obstacles in education, current methods in school may not effectively convey such kind of financial skills. Many universities are not really looking into that kind of area. People are taught things that they are not even sure whether it will be useful in the society. And then emotional challenge in trading is also something that needs to be addressed because all those kind of challenges any trader may have may result in bad financial decisions, and a volatile forex market does not really permit that. So in order to therefore make trading more accessible to even non-experts and also to make them less prone to human mistake and emotional impact, then this article advocates for automation. And the main research question, therefore, is how do we enhance financial literacy by developing the financial expert advisor system to train and educate young people about risk management and the monitoring and investing and time management in financial education. So first, we look at the sub-questions as to what are the appropriate methods that are used by schools in teaching financial literacy, and what are the current technologies and techniques and tools that can be used to develop such expert advisor systems, and how can we actually develop such systems for financial literacy education. So the objective, therefore, is to implement such a system that can assist, as we have explained. And the objectives, therefore, will be to evaluate the effectiveness of the current method, identify suitable technologies, and eventually develop the financial expert system, which should be our own practical contribution to the body of knowledge. And obviously, looking at literature, there are a lot of things we can learn from what previous authors have said. But the most important thing is that various authors have highlighted their capacity to automate systems. Their systems developed to track multiple markets, freeing users from 24/7 everyday monitoring. And such systems also are aimed at removing the biases like fear and greed from decision making, which are some of the examples of human limitations. And also to test with historical data so that we can be able to say, okay, some years ago, this type of crisis happened, and this is what it led to. So systems can be trained to be able to identify those kind of previous strategies and then be able to use that in future. But most importantly, we need to understand that expert advisor systems is aimed at assisting, especially during unpredictable market swings. And also various other authors also highlighted the need for regular adjustments to adapt to changing market conditions. And also we identified that fully automatic systems may lack the human touch needed for nuanced decision making. Therefore, we have this suggestion for these systems in such a way that it can be able to introduce human efforts to be able to make use of automated experiences. So this table is a summary of those previous authors as to what they have done. So the methodology we are going to use therefore here is design science methodology. And this methodology involves various steps, which some of these include identifying the problem, which we have explained the problem. We have looked at the literature also to be able to define the problems. And then we define this. The next step will be to define the solution, which is the expert advisor system. So therefore, that tells us that the main effort will be in the prototyping, which is the development of the systems, and then testing the system and evaluating it. So the development of the system will therefore follow these steps. The normal life cycle system for developing systems, which is to first study efficiently the requirement analysis. What do the users want? So the traders in this regard, what do they want? How do they want the systems to be? And once we understand what the user wants, then we progress into the design. Design simply means we first of all do some other things that can make those plan clearer on paper and on the computer before we actually go into the physical development of the system. So the physical development is in step 3, and then efficient testing is needed in test 4, and then continuous maintenance will be needed as we go on. So in terms of the design of the system, there are various tools that are being used. One of such tools is the use case diagrams to be able to specify so that we understand who and who is involved, what and what tasks are involved in developing the prototype. So we have on these stakeholders on the left side of this box, and then we have inside the box various tasks that are involved in the trading systems. So we linked each user or each stakeholder to the various activities and tasks that will be done. So we can see stakeholder like the developer, the system analyst, the risk manager, the administrator, the traders, the investors, and we link them to all the tasks that they need to do on the system. Then we also create the class diagram. Then we are going towards the identifying what are the objects involved and how do these objects lead us into the development of the database that will be needed. So for this, we use class diagrams, and eventually this class diagram will be translated into what are the data items that will be needed. Then the developed system, then we have the output, which highlights, most importantly, this sell arrow and the buy arrow. Those are the major important system aspects to tell us when should we sell or when should we buy more stocks or more foreign exchange. So the essence is that if it is about to fall, it is better to sell and make your profit rather than lose. So when the system identifies when it is about to fall, it will trigger a sell action. And when the market is favorable, then it will trigger a buy so that you can buy more stocks or more foreign exchange. And then we also align this with a line graph to see what is the trend over the past month or over the past year to see how are things moving. Are they moving upward or are they going downward? Because it is easier to see this in a line graph. So in conclusion, financial expert advisors who are effective tools for training and educating young people about financial management. And the essence is to make trading more accessible, reducing emotional biases and automating decision-making process. Therefore overcoming human limitations such as tiredness, having your mind wander here and there. So you have the system that will assist in this regard. Recommendations for future research, we can recommend further refinement of this kind of automated systems, especially using artificial intelligence, deep learning. And then we can also recommend exploring new indicators and strategies for enhanced trading performance. And most importantly, to make it more interactive and adaptive so that even the systems can physically, or possibly even in the form of voice protocols, inform people because when actions are made in terms of messages on the screen, the trader may not actually see it on time. But despite that, if it can include things like voice, so that there could be voiceovers and things are happening, it quickly triggers some voices. So whatever you are doing, you are informed that you need to make some actions quickly, as we know that times means money. Okay, those are the references. Thank you very much. Thank you. My name is Johnson Dehinbo, and I will be presenting this paper for the OIDA conference 2024, December in Pretoria. And the subject, the paper is titled Improving Sustainable Development with a Mentorship System to Enhance Teaching and Learning for Universities in South Africa. My co-author is Wilson Nchere, also from the Department of Computer Science in the Tshwane University of Technology in Pretoria in South Africa. As a way of introduction, we look at development itself, which we can liken to a state of economic growth that people aspire to sustain and improve upon. Every organization hopes to develop, even every country hopes to develop and increase in terms of the Global Development Index. And that is why every country has the GDP, gross domestic product, to explain or to define their developmental status. So Brown 2017 explained that sustainable development, therefore, is a form of development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Meaning that as the country strives to progress and develop, it is important that we don't limit the chances or limit the effort of future generations to be able to develop and meet their own needs also. So when we look at students today, they are our future leaders tomorrow. Therefore, we need to cater for their ways to enhance their knowledge. So we need to cater for their ways that will ensure that their knowledge acquisition is in progress. So mentorship is a vital form of ways that we can use to help students in their academic and to obtain their qualification on time, especially as they need to keep on learning so that their future is not compromised. However, the problem here is that, especially in our background here, most students feel shy to ask questions in class. So for some of them will think that maybe if they ask questions, other students will think they are dumb or they are not smart. So they would rather keep quiet and not ask questions. So that is where we think that, okay, the use of technology can assist in this kind of situation. So we have a situation there for students that are shy to ask questions. We'll be able to make use of any opportunity or any systems that will enable them to avoid such face-to-face shame of the students. So a mentorship system, therefore, is a system that can be used by that kind of a system, students so that they can ask questions. Obviously, as they ask the questions online, the students are not really looking at them physically to say, oh, you are the one that asked this question, or you're the one that said this. So that sort of cover their shame. But beside that, mentorship system can also help to overcome challenges of using the manual file systems, which is commonly being used in most universities and in most systems. So only to find out that the mentors may not be available, for example, when somebody decided to book for such a systems, and then find out that even the people we want to book for is not available because the limitation of file system does not allow for that. So such file system cost a lot of money, especially with limited possibilities for tracking students' performance or the mentors' activities. So the purpose of this study, therefore, is to highlight the importance of the mentorship systems and how the whole process of mentorship can be automated. So the automated system is aimed at making life easier for the stakeholders who will be using the systems. So the Dehinbo 2003 especially indicates that sustainable development involves attaining good quality of life that is comparable to that of the developed countries, as we identified earlier. So therefore, successful implementation of the prototype of this study will enable future generations to learn so that their future is not compromised. So doing will move the society towards sustainable development. So if we look at the literature review, we see studies like Caldwell 1993 that explains the tradition of mentorship, how it began. And the story is that of a Greek mythology. Odyssey, the king of Ithaca, when he was planning to leave for a war, a Trojan war, then he instructed his faithful companion, that is called mentor, to remain and to take charge of his son, Telemachus. So he was entrusted to keep Telemachus to be able to teach him so that he can become a great person of note and be able to assist that person as they go in life. So while he is not there, mentor is able to teach and act as a role model and as a trusted advisor so that it can keep growing and it can keep developing. And this was the beginning of the classic mentoring relationship. So therefore, what we're trying to say is that mentor is a person, is the name of a person that this Greek mythology asked to keep his child, or to teach, not just keep the child, but to teach him the way of the royal lifestyle, so that by the time he grows up, he will also be able to act as a king, being entrusted with how to grow and how to develop. So mentor served as a teacher, role model, trusted advisor, as well as counselor, among many other things. Also as a father figure to Telemachus. And this was the beginning of the classic mentoring relationship. So that was how the word mentorship started. So why do we therefore need mentoring? We need mentoring because in most situations, we have different ways of progressing, of developing. Some people develop at a faster rate, some people develop at a slower rate. But especially when we are talking about the royal families, there are some standards that is expected of them, that by this time this son becomes the king. In other words, the prince, that by the time the prince becomes the king, there are some standard we expect. how he should behave, how he should perform. So as this principle is now started being used in the society, it becomes clear that it's a very good system that can be used. So in the United States, for example, formal mentoring is therefore introduced, and it has become a common experience, especially among beginning students. So most students are informally mentored, and most universities have some department that will cater for the mentoring of new students. And that is important, especially looking at the university as a new environment where students came in and there is freedom, there's academic freedom, no more parents looking here and there. They can go wherever they want to go. So there should be a department that will be monitoring, keeping the students on track to make sure that they don't lose the ability to learn just because of the new freedom they have gained. And when they are not performing well in their subject, the system should also be able to put them right and ensure that they are moving in the right direction. Okay, so we have to also talk about the story of another king, Alexander the Great, under the Greek philosopher Aristotle, who also learned on as he was about to take on the throne of his father, King Philip. And the mentorship of Aristotle also assisted that person in being able to learn, especially reading and learning. Those days, there were no universities in those days. So special efforts were made to ensure that the coming king is able to read and write effectively and learn also. So towards doing that, there are various mentoring models that are possible to use, especially that can assist students in their learning aspect. So we can categorize those into developmental or formative model when it serves for formative purposes and focuses on personal and professional development, which is based on developing their confidence, supportive, true transition, professional centered. And then the second model would be the performative model. If it serves summative purposes, focuses on judgment, performance, etc. So it is under this category that induction programs that are commonly done in the universities started. Meaning that when a new staff is employed, we introduce or we induce them into how things are done or how things are expected to be done, so as to help those new teachers or the new lecturers to be able to perform effectively. So again, the methodology we use here is prototyping, because we are looking at it from the information systems point of view, that how can technology assist in solving this problem towards development of the society. So we're therefore going to develop a prototype that will assist with the mentorship efforts rather than relying on the file systems. So the artifact that is going to be implemented will be the prototype itself. And it will follow various stages, starting with the requirements gathering into the quick design, and then building the prototype, evaluating it, refining the prototype before the product is therefore engineered and maintained. So the architecture of the systems is basically involving the student logging into the system, manage and make appointments when necessary. The mentor also log into the system and make available their times that they are available. And then all their information are stored in the database. What specialization can they cater for? So that students can see this, and then the student can be able to see which mentor is suitable for me to book. And then we also have the facilitators that also log in to monitor how the relationship between the mentees and the mentors are going on. So the facilitator is like the representative of the university that will be able to make progress and also monitor progress and be able to say this is how the mentorship for this year went through. So the result of the system developed is hereby shown, starting with the landing page for all the users where they log in. And as I mentioned earlier, there are three major users: the mentees or the students, and the facilitators or the lecturer, and the mentors or the lecturers, and then the facilitators representing the university management positions. So what each of these categories see depends on their role in the system. So the landing page for the facilitator is given hereby, and then the facilitator can now be able to see who are the students available, and then who are the students that are currently allocated to them, and then they can be able to interact with them. You know, apart from scheduling when they need to come for the lessons, they can also do some minor interactions on the systems. So the mentors also give their profiles so that the student can be able to see and say, okay, with this profile, I think I will be able to learn more effectively from this mentor. So the interaction between them is also documented by the system on a newsfeed page, which provide the communication between the mentors, as well as between the mentors and the mentees, as well as between the mentors and the facilitators, so that in future, we can be able to go back and refer to information and communication that have taken place towards being able to evaluate the progress of the system. Then we also have the subject page where the mentors specify the subject they cater for. That is very important. So these are now going to be specific subjects for a particular qualifications, given the subject code, which the students will know the content of each of these subjects. This is actually specific to the Tshwane universities, but it can be tailored by any other university to give their own subject code and then for the benefit of their own students. And then we also have the appointment page where mentors can manage the appointments. For example, if they are not available at any particular time, they can easily use that system to indicate. And then if they want to move appointment to another time, they can do all those kind of management in this page. Okay, also the communication between the students and facilitators also documented in this particular page. And the most important is being for the student to be able to search for mentors for specific subjects and make the appointment necessary. So using the topic that was taught in class, they can use that to search for a mentor who is knowledgeable in that topic. So it's not only about the subject, even within the subject, there could be different mentors. Some mentors could specialize in a topic within the subject. Other mentors will specialize in another topic in that subject also. So this page will enable students to be able to search for mentors for specific subjects. And once they see that, then they make appointment with us. Then as they do that, as they sign in, then it's also important for them to inform the mentors what they need training or lessons on. So a pop-up screen comes up at this stage where the mentee or the student will be able to now give further information, like what are the available appointment time, especially what are the chapter number they are interested in, or what is the topic they want to learn more about, or what are the problem description. Maybe they are having a particular problem on a particular topic on how to solve a particular question. In concluding, mentorship is vital to help students in their academic performance to enable them to obtain their qualifications on time. It is very important to obtain it on time so that they don't jeopardize their future. and at the end of the day, to ensure that future generations are able to learn so that their future is not compromised. And currently, the file system that is being used by the university is not really ideal, and it could lead to time wastage and difficulties in managing it. And that is where we suggest this mentorship system to bring about the convenience and better decision making, and also to assist the students, especially the shy ones, so that they have a tool to use that will cover that will not expose them, and also the system that is user friendly and also can be accessed from anywhere on the internet. So with this change to the use of a system leading to better student academic performance at minimal cost, we assume that productivity is enhanced and programs is going to become sustainable. So the enhanced sustainable development will thus enhance the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Thank you.